Oi, pessoal, eu sou a Fernanda Aranha e hoje a Antena recebe uma verdadeira lenda da música, Dionne Warwick. Hi, Dionne. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm amazing. Better now. Thanks. Before we start, I'd like to say thank you a million times for you to be here. It's amazing. We're really, really happy.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, first things first, I'd like to talk about One Last Time tour. What can you tell me about it? It will be your goodbye from the stage, right?
No, when I say goodbye, you'll know.
Okay.
No, what it actually means is that I'm just not going to be doing as much touring as I normally would. So I'm just slowing down a little bit, that's all.
Okay, I get it. And how has the fans' response been about this chapter of your life?
It's been exactly the same as it's always been. It's been wonderful, you know.
Yeah.
It's so nice to know people have been so loyal. And thank God I've been able to continue to give them exactly what they expect me to give. When it gets to the point where I cannot, that's when you'll hear me say bye-bye.
Okay, and now talking about Brazil, are you excited for the presentations? Because Brazilian audience are like passionate, loud, right? How are you
Wonderful.
feeling?
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point of doing concerts and performing. It's people enjoy, and they show it.
Yeah. How is your relation with the Brazilian fans? They're like
It's
always on
amazing.
social media.
Amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I love them. They love me.
Fair enough. And I hear you saying that you want to live in Brazil. Is that true?
Eventually, that's where I intend to live, yes.
Yeah. And you said specifically about Bahia. Why?
Yes. I visited Bahia a few times while I was here. Fell in love with it. But I also know that I have to now learn the language, really learn it, because the English in Bahia is not very well spoken.
Yeah, fair enough. You know any word in Portuguese? Anything?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Boa noite.
Boa noite.
Obrigado.
De nada.
Yeah.
Okay, and this time we're going to perform in Brasília, Curitiba, São Paulo, and Rio de Janeiro. You know all these cities?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah? And you like it?
Performed there several times,
Yeah.
in each of them, yes.
Nice. And I know you have recorded some Brazilian songs like Aquarela do Brasil, right?
Yes.
Can we expect this kind of repertoire in this concert?
Of course.
Yeah.
How can I come to Brazil and not sing some songs from Brazil?
Aquarela do Brasil will be. Well, not specifically that one.
Oh, no, it'll be quite a few of them.
Yeah.
You have to come to the concert to see.
I'll be there. I hope so. And now talking about another recent release, your documentary.
Yes.
How did the idea of making a documentary come out?
You know, I had no idea that they even thought about doing something like this. My business partner, Dave Woolley, I decided that let's look at the book and put it on film. And that's exactly what we did. It kind of put to rest people thinking about, oh, that's how she is. No, oh, she didn't do that? Did she? You know, so all those questions and queries are answered.
And now they know?
Yeah,
Because you
now
told
they
them.
know me now, for
Fair.
real.
And how did you feel when you watched it for the first time?
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I saw that seeing you on the theater. Really beautiful.
Yeah, it was wonderful being there by myself
Yeah, wow.
and
Emotional.
seeing it for the first time. And not only going back over my years, but the people that were also involved in it, you know, and it was really quite interesting.
And the documentary has been named with one of your songs named,
Yes.
right? And in 65 years of career, you put out a lot of hit. So why you picked that specific one to put in the title?
Beginning, the very beginning. That was my first recording. And I think it's the first for everybody seeing the real Dionne. So Don't Make Me Over is what it's about.
Yeah, nice. And I'm a journalist, so for me, documentary is like a book of memories. And what was the most emotional memory you revisited while doing the documentary?
Oh, several. You know, just seeing people I haven't seen in ages, and the memories that it brought back on a lot of occasions.
I imagine. I imagine. And in the documentary, we can see about your past a little bit, right? You started singing in church.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw one interview when you said, like, I'll start singing with my eyes closed and stuff. And I want to know, do you remember what was your first solo at the church?
Yeah, I was 6 years old, and I was in my
Gosh.
grandfather's church, and I sang a song called "Jesus Loves Me."
And how did you feel back then? Do you remember?
Love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was an experience at
It
6
was
years
love
old.
at first time.
Well, I don't know about that. It was fright at first time.
Yeah, I imagine.
You know, but it was something that has developed. And 62 years later, here I am.
Okay, and talking a little bit about time dynamic. You are historical, I already mentioned that before. And you sang in South Carolina during segregation, right?
Yeah.
So how was that? Because it's...
It was an experience. I'd never felt anything like that before, coming
Yeah.
from the northern region of our country. And not really knowing anything about what was going on in the South because I'd not experienced it. But it was a lesson. It really was an eye-opener.
Yeah, I imagine. And your song has been in a lot of historical moments. Beyond that one that we already mentioned, is there any other that stands up in your mind like, oh my God, I did that?
No, you know, everything I sing and have sung was written specifically for me. So there was no surprise, you know, the fact that I sang those songs. But to find my songs in films is quite interesting. You know, when you, my best friend's wedding with I Say a Little Prayer for You, and I just don't know what to do with myself. There are a lot of songs that I've been identified with find their way into film and television because they suit the scenes that they're doing.
Yeah, I'd like to talk a little bit about specific songs and start with Heartbreaker.
Yes.
Barry Gibb from Bee Gees wrote it from you, right? How was that? How did you guys meet? How was the
It
composition
was
process?
wonderful. Barry's a friend, as are the other two brothers as well. God rest them both. And he decided I was somebody he really wanted to record. He and Maurice and Alvin Galutin actually wrote these songs for the Heartbreaker album. And he called me and said, hey, you want to do some stuff together? I said, yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Good
Heartbreak
idea,
as a
really
result.
good idea. And now that's what friends are for.
Yeah.
You donate everything for AIDS research,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
Why was that cause so important to you back then?
Well, you know, unfortunately, we were losing a lot of my industry to AIDS, and we didn't know what it was, but we knew that it was going to take a lot of money to get to the root of it. And so, I don't know what it is about Dionne, but everybody feels, oh, Dionne's going to do it, you know. And as it turns out, I did. You know,
Yeah,
I
I'm
felt
glad
that
they
we
did.
had to do something about it instead of just talking about it. And if our talent is going to make a difference, why not? So I called my three friends that you see on the video with me, Elton, Gladys, and Stevie, and
What
they
a team.
agreed to be a part
What a
of this.
team.
Yeah, I totally agree. And they agreed to be a part of it because they felt this thing as well, you know, and thus, that's what friends are for.
Yeah, really important message.
I did.
And beyond that, you are really an activist for a lot of social causes, right?
Yeah.
That had big impact. So this question is a little bit more philosophic.
Okay.
Who is Dionne Warwick to the world? What do you think is your legacy? What do you think about yourself as a public person?
Yeah, I don't know what my legacy is yet. I think that's going to be a decision that people will have to make, not me.
Yeah, okay, fair. Really fair. And now I'd like to talk about your song with Dolly Parton that you released here this year. And how was that? How did you two meet? How was the invitation to record the song?
It was wonderful. Dolly sent the song to me. And she found out that I was doing a gospel CD. Peace Like a River, she wrote it. And felt that it would fit in my CD. And I totally agree. And I flew to Nashville and we recorded it. We did the video, and
Yeah.
Peace like a river.
It's a really beautiful video and song. I really like it.
Thank you.
And you've done a amount of duets in your career, right? With a lot of amazing artists.
Sure have.
There is anyone you said, oh, that one was extra special?
No.
No?
They were all extra special.
Okay.
Everyone I sing a duet with our friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't choose one friend over another.
Yeah, okay, fair. And the music industry has changed a lot since your beginning.
To say the least.
To say the least, yeah. And how do you see the current scenario of the industry?
I don't like it.
Really?
No, I don't. Everything is computerized. There's no
Yeah,
human
it
elements
really is.
anymore.
Yeah. Great. And did you like some artists specifically from this generation or not? Like you only listen
I
things from the past?
listen to my peers. You know, the current generation listens to who they're gearing their music for, and that's their generation. As was mine when I was recording. So I
You
listen to
think-
mine, and they listen to theirs.
Oh, okay. You think this generation needs to learn with the past,
There's
or
a
like
lot they could learn, yes.
Yeah.
We have an awful lot to offer. But unfortunately, most of them think that they invented the business, so what's the point?
Yeah, fair. What was the biggest challenge in your career, and how did you overcome it?
I don't have challenges. I don't allow them.
Wow. Wow. And if you could give any advice to your younger self back in the beginning of your careers, what would you say?
I would say exactly what I've always said, be who you are. Can't be
Exactly
anybody
what-
else.
Okay. And now I need to say I follow you on Twitter.
Oh, do ya?
Yes, and it's
Okay.
really, really funny. I need to ask about it. How did you find it about the social media?
From my niece, Brittany.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm glad she did because it's really funny. Really, really, really.
I know. No, they all think I should have been a comedian anyway.
Mm-hmm. They're right.
Because I love to laugh and I love to smile, you know, and it's very easy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
the queen of Twitter.
Yes, you are. Yes, I saw a lot of interviews, people talking this in comments. It really is. So that's the way I like to finish our interview. It was an
Okay.
amazing conversation. Thanks a lot. It
My
was a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Mine.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bom, essa foi nossa entrevista exclusiva com Dionne Warwick. Eu espero que vocês tenham gostado tanto quanto eu. Não se esqueçam de se inscrever no canal, curtir o vídeo e compartilhar nas redes sociais. Eu vejo vocês na próxima.